Hello, today's a very exciting day. I'm going to swap out the battery that came with our 2019 Thor 24 FE Freedom Elite for two deep cycle 12 volt batteries, big batteries. Reason I want to do this, we already had the Sprinter van engine battery replaced under warranty because it was no good. I mentioned this is brand new. And we've had a lot of problems with the house battery too. And I think the reason for that is these things sit on the dealer's lot. People go in and out of them and they leave stuff on. And the chassis, you know, these new, even your new car, if you don't shut everything off, you turn the ignition off, if you don't get out the driver door, all kinds of stuff stays on. And with these, you can, you know, just get out of your seat, walk out the house door. So I think that's probably what happened. Anyway, we got a new battery under warranty. Not even going to deal with warranty issue on the other one because I just wanted to replace the batteries myself. I now know more about batteries than I ever knew there was to learn about batteries. So I'm going to show you what we're up against here. Okay, so the battery compartment is under the second step right here. So when I got here this morning, and it's still fairly cold out, this is our battery monitoring system. This is actually an interface that will work with, it's a solar controller, it'll work with solar panels, but in the meantime, it will tell you what the voltage of the house batteries is, and it'll tell you what kind of battery it is, battery type, and you can switch between amps and volts. So when I got here this morning, that was on 12.1, and then I started the motor and it went up to 14 because the engine will actually charge the house battery. And then I ran the heat, which the furnace runs, the burner runs on propane, the fan runs on DC volts, which is battery voltage, house battery voltage. And by the time you have to turn the engine off to operate the slide. So I had the heat on. The heat just went off. The fan just stopped running now. I had the engine off to put the slide out. And by the time between the fan running and the slide out, it's now at 11.9 volts. And I want to maximize that. I don't want such a voltage drop in such a short period of time. So what we have here are two Walmart specials. I did a lot of research, and these got very good reviews from people who have had these and had them for a long time. So these are deep cycle batteries, which means they're not ideal for starting an engine. They are ideal for drawing power over a long period of time. A dual purpose battery is both. That's like commonly in your boat. But I don't need any starting power from here. I don't need that big burst of a lot of volts. I need a long extended drain period. These are 100 amp hour batteries, 860 they call it marine cranking amps in these style batteries, and it's deep cycle power. So here is what the compartment looks like. One battery, but you can see the tray. There's room in there for both of these big bastard batteries I bought. Big batteries I bought. And I'm going to take pictures of this before I disconnect anything and mark it and hook it up the same way, and I'll show you how to wire these batteries in series and the difference between series and parallel. So my videographer has just arrived.
Yes.
And so far what I've done is I went underneath and cut all the wire ties so that I have flexibility to be able to maneuver in here like this. And then always disconnect a battery from the negative terminal first, because if your wrench accidentally hits anything, there's no sparks, no problem. That is disconnected, and as you can see, the monitor has nothing. There's no power in here at all. The other thing I did, this negative terminal had a red connector crimp connector on the end of it, because at the factory they do it all day, every day, and they're in a hurry to get it done. I taped that black so there will be no mistake. Okay, so I got those in, and it was a much tighter squeeze than I thought. I mean, the tray has a ton of room, but there's not a lot of room in the top, so you have to slide them out of the way to fit them in. But they're in there, no damage, and now we'll hook them up. All right, so I got both batteries in. Got one connected, exactly the way the other one was, and we've got 12.7 volts, and it's telling us it's a wet battery. How it recognizes that, I have no idea, but it does. And now I will connect the second battery. Okay, so in the meantime, we also found that when we last used the condo trip to my mother's house, we left 2 bottles of red wine in here, and we are really grateful that they did not explode and break, because it was pushing the corks out. Now back to the task at hand. The batteries are both in. The voltage is maintaining 12.8 volts. Now, just a comment on wiring these in series. That means the positive terminals are wired together and the negative terminals are wired together. The reason for that is you maintain 12 volts out of 2 12-volt batteries. If you wire them in parallel, meaning positive to negative, negative to positive, you will change that voltage to 24 volts and you will blow up a lot of stuff, including your light bulbs and God knows what else. I don't recommend trying it. So the last thing to do is secure those with straps, and then I'll just show you the final part. Okay, so all I have left to do, we've now secured them. They each have a strap going around the width and then one going lengthwise, so they don't move at all anywhere. And all I have left to do is go underneath and put wire ties on all the cables, and that's it. Job done. I've now got the coach power on and lights, and it dropped 0.1 volt from 12.7 to 12.8. The old battery would drop like a whole volt. It would go right down to 11. So we're going to call this success, and I'll report back on how many amp hours we get out of this and how long it takes to charge them. Over and out.